So can we talk? So last Sunday, I was speaking with one of my friends there at church, and she's looking for a house, and we were talking about mold and health issues and stuff like that. And I made an offhanded comment like, well, I'm not that concerned about mold because it doesn't bother me. And so she said something like, oh, so you're not that concerned about health? And I said, oh, yes, I'm very concerned about health and health issues. But I didn't really get into an explanation. So if I can start with a story. So when I was about 6, and we lived in North Carolina, and we had a house that had a backyard, but just on the edge of the backyard were the woods. It was just trees and no grass. It was just woods. And we would go back there and play. And then, I don't know, 20, 30 yards behind the yard or back beyond the yard was a creek. So there's, of course, water. And so one day, the whole family, that's me, my brother, my dad, my mom, we were out walking the little trail there toward the creek. And I said, hey, Dad, should we be concerned about snakes? And he said, no, I don't think so. And then he said something that was really provocative, and it didn't really come full circle for me for decades later. He said, have you ever noticed that the people who see snakes are the ones who are afraid of them and are kind of looking for them, or they just have that idea that snakes are around? And I said, wow, yes, I have noticed that. And so right then and there, I kind of dropped the whole idea of being concerned about snakes. And of course, that little trip out in the backyard, we didn't see any snakes or anything like that. It was a nice, pleasant afternoon. So the whole idea about the mold, which I didn't get into, was, I could be concerned about it and worry about it and study it and look at it and think about it. But then if I'm creating my own reality, then I'm the one giving the energy to the mold or to the snakes or to whatever. I'm the one doing that. It's just like what you've heard before, like if you think you want a brand new car and you go get one and you go get an unusual blue or green, or maybe even it's a slightly unusual white car. But as soon as you do that, then all of a sudden you see all kinds of cars that match up to yours that you never saw before. And, sometimes science says, okay, that's your reticular activator within your mind. It's so matching up things, and all of a sudden now you start to see them. I think it goes much deeper than that. And besides just, seeing things that, maybe you never saw before, I believe, and I did a video a number of years ago, which I've just kind of brought back up into my promotions, and it's called Parallel Universes. And then when we start to talk about parallel universes, we have to start talking about no time, because no time means everything happens right now. So all these things that we put our attention onto are already here. So the only thing we're doing is we're just selecting them. So I just wanted to get into an explanation about that. And another little offshoot, if I'm talking about the same thing everybody else is, and in a way I am, the people that talk about law of attraction really talk about this. and I'm talking about it also. So before I started doing these videos, I said, why should I even bother doing these videos? There's some really great people out there that are putting this information out, like Abraham Hicks, like Dolores Cannon, like Neville Goddard, of course, Thomas Troward, who wrote the Door Lectures on Mental Science a long time ago, Napoleon Hill. Um, I could go on and on and on. So my question was, why should I even bother? So the answer was, because I have one thing that nobody else has, and that is my perspective. Yes, everything exists now, but I have my perspective of the all that is. In other words, nobody else has what I have. Nobody else has what you have, which is your perspective. And that is all that matters. That's really what's really important, is you have your perspective to offer to the all that is. When I was younger, I was looking around thinking, okay, who do I want to be? And I was looking at other people thinking, okay, I kind of need to select from those choices out there. No, I am who I am. You are who you are. Just be you. Nobody else can do that. Now that is what you would bring and what I bring to the whole co-creative process known as the universe. I hope this adds some value to your experience as the only unique you, and your value to what you can bring to the all that is.